What's good, everybody, man? It's your boy Art from over at Art by Art LLC on Instagram. And I am an artist as well as a toy designer, sneaker designer, all of the above, hailing from the Los Angeles area.
Hey, it's your boy Jay of Jay High Art. I'm a visual artist, sneaker artist, do a little bit of everything. I hail from the Chicagoland area. Sorry,
And
man,
this
it's been
is
a while.
I know, man. This is Artist Unhinged.
We back at it. Had to go on hiatus.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. Sometimes you just got to take a step back, take care of what you got to take care of, and then come back at it, you know?
Agreed.
But we ain't going nowhere. We're going to keep it rolling. So let's get into... Wait, do I usually jump this off? I forgot how we used to do it, man. But first, all right, we're going to go straight into Yo, That's Dope. It's where we like to take the time out to show some love to something that we've seen in the past that we just thought was worth sharing with you guys. So what you got, Jason?
There's this amazing piano player. He looks like he can play everything, but he plays more modern. So I'll go ahead and show him. His account is at levy.sct. Yeah, it's funny because the crowd has no idea, but there's one person here in the back.
You get it.
Yeah, man.
My favorite.
I think I have carpal tunnel just watching.
I can't even pretend to move that fast, bro.
Right?
That's crazy.
I started following his account. Even if you don't know the song, you got to appreciate the talent, skill, and hard work. It's wild. But if you go to his account, it's LEVSCT. But he does a bunch of other contemporary songs that we'd all know from the radio and stuff. He's amazing. I watched that 3 or 4 times because I was like, man, damn, that's cool. I've always loved music, so it's a huge thing when I watch a musician. Yeah, man, it's dope.
Yeah, my littlest son plays the piano, and so I gotta let him listen to him. Like, hey, this what you.
This is what you gotta aspire to.
This is what you're striving for right here.
I like it. But that's pretty much it for my Yo, That's Dope section. I just had a shout out. Go ahead.
So I don't have anything for Yo, That's Dope. I just, off the top of my head, nothing. Usually when we see something, we share it in the group on Instagram or whatever and save it so we'll know. I'm not saying people aren't out there creating dope stuff. I just didn't have anything saved that just probably just stood out into my mind. Was like, yo, I want to just share this. But still, though, plenty of dope artists out there.
Definitely.
I ain't got none this week.
All right, so next up, got the what you got cooking section. Time to eat.
So I'm gonna jump it out. What I got cooking, man, I'm working on several things. I'm trying to work on one thing at a time. It's hard for me because sometimes I jump from this and then I go to that. You know how it is, bro. So I'm working on a pair of Sonic the Hedgehog custom shoes for my little cousin. He specifically wanted the shoes that Sonic wears.
Oh, the
red,
like,
white
joints.
Yes.
With yeah.
So I took a pair of ponies, pony shoes. I've been seeing.
Oh yeah, I saw you pull those out. Those look like they'd be fun.
Yeah, so that's what I'm using that for right now. I'm working on those, and then I'm still getting par 4 orders, man. The golf shoes, I'm still getting orders for that. I had somebody order those, and then I'm still working on my Iron Man pair. And like when I got time, I'm still working on it.
I haven't even started mine yet.
That's what I'm saying, because I knew I was going to have stuff, so I'm just going to get started while I ain't got nothing going on. Because once it started rolling in, and sure enough, stuff started rolling in. And I also have a Ghostbuster pair, but they wanted it to be inspired by the vehicle that they drive.
Interesting. So, how you feel about that? You like it?
Yeah, I like it. I did the design. They approved the design and everything, so I was like, oh, yeah, cool. It's going to be a new take on something. So it was pretty cool. So working on my book still every night when I'm in bed, I'm drawing, adding finishing touches. Right now I'm trying to work on the font and how I want the font placed in there.
Wait, hold on. You said book?
A children's book.
What book?
Wait,
did we talk about this?
We had to be talking about a children's book, bro. At least once.
I don't think so. It's been a while. We've been on here in a minute.
We haven't. But to refresh, I'm working on a children's book. I've been working on a children's book probably since 2022 or 2021,
Okay.
one of those. And I just started back then, and I slowly, like last year, I didn't work on it at all. I worked on it for a long time here and there. I didn't work on it at all last year. And this year, I was like, I need to finish this and, get this going. So I'm almost at the end.
Are you writing it and illustrating?
Oh,
or are you
I'm
just
doing everything.
Okay.
I did everything.
From scratch, everything.
I did everything.
Can we hear the premise of the story? Or
it's about art. The name of the book is actually How We Art. And it's characters talking about different reasons why they love art and the type of art that they do. The more I keep going, the better I'm getting at some of the stuff. So I have to go back and tweak pages. Because at first it was like, this is going to be a real simple type of book. And then as time went on, I ended up adding more and more to the characters. And the characters are still kiddie characters, because I ain't no action hero drawer type dude.
No comic
book characters. Yeah, so it's a good book. I think it's nice and playful, man. I think kids will like it. I'm excited to finish that up and get that out.
Oh, nice. That's nice. One of my boys is working on a children's book. Well, I think he's done 2 or 3 of them, and he's working on another one about his kids. He's from the Bahamas, so it's about his kids, but also the Bohemian culture. So that's pretty cool. I thought about it. I had to do one for a class assignment once. I had to do like a short children's book, so I did it was like a father and daughter, and they were working on cooking meals. So I had the whole different steps of cooking. I think I had them making pasta or pizza or something simple, but that was for a class assignment. So I had to illustrate that. I'm like, this is harder than I thought it would be.
It was cool.
That's dope.
I got inspired definitely by Michael Tyler. He's the guy I've done a few pair of shoes for, him and his wife. He's a children's author. And so I got inspired by him for sure. I even had conversations with him about the process and all the different type of stuff. So he's been a big help as well towards the process.
Good stuff.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's see. Anything else?
That's it, man. That's all I got going on.
No, I got you. Let's see here. For me, what I've been cooking up. I mean, art-wise, nothing much. Honestly, I've been so preoccupied with getting this basement back in order. Because it was a bursted pipe, so that messed up everything. Yeah. They fixed it, but they also damaged my sewage pipe, which then put water back out, but under my vinyl flooring down here.
Oh, man.
And then they had mold on the wall, so they had to cut out the wall, take out the flooring, and then they had to redo all that. I had to fight with my insurance to pay for it, because I was like, I didn't have this issue before you guys did work. I'm like, damn it, can I just catch a break and just sit down and focus on art, more than a week? So that's been mostly what I've been dealing with. I've talked about this before. I got stuff up, art showing in the comic book store. They have a free comic book day, which is this Saturday. So he wanted me to come through and show some work and just talk with people. So that'll definitely be something I got going on this weekend. Last weekend I did an art show. One of the guys I met from an art show at the end of last year. And we had it at Complex Studios. I think his name's KX. He is a sound engineer, so he's worked with Do or Die, Twista. He has a bunch of albums up. So it's cool to do an art show at a legit music studio and show work, but also get to network and meet people. So that was pretty fun. It went well. He really enjoyed the vibe, because obviously when you go to an art show, people aren't turned up, like they're not acting rowdy and messing the studio up. It's more of a chill vibe. We had good drink, good music, and saw some artwork. So he wants to expand it to like a once a month thing during the summer. So that was fun. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, I got another show back in Tampa. I'm actually the curator for it.
Okay.
And I part. Yeah.
What? So add to the resume.
Trying to, man. So I'm curating it. It's been a long process. There was a show I did back, this is 2 years ago, with another artist friend of mine in Tampa. And they did a solo show with a woman named Vanessa. She is a big-time art lover. She's on the Hillsborough County Art Board now. I'm partnering up with her this upcoming year in January to put that together. So it's going to be a show, all men. And I haven't sure what she's named it yet. I think it's like Divine Masculine, talking about like the positivities of masculinity. And I feel like we both felt as a culture right now, everything is about toxic masculinity. To me, masculinity isn't toxic. There's toxic behaviors.
Right.
Being masculine is not a bad thing. like it is part of who we are, and everyone has a little bit of masculinity and femininity in them anyway. So it was just like a show about raising the positive stuff about masculinity, but also some of the stuff that we go through as men, like the pressures. That'll be a show. We haven't got a date ironed out. She's trying to iron out the venue and stuff, but it'll be January of next year.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
Oh,
take on
okay.
something.
Now that I thought about it, I'm definitely cooking something up. We got a something not related to art. Me and my wife, we got a bun in the oven.
Wait a minute. No. What's starting over? You started over.
I did.
Real.
I'm like, damn it. I'm going to balance this out.
Y'all cooking for real.
So, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. November 21st is the due date as set. So,
congratulations to y'all, man.
I'm like excited, at peace with it, but also nervous because I'm like, so like my daughter, she's never actually, we haven't lived full time together since she was 2 years old. I would get her in the summer, like I get her on holiday breaks, stuff like that, but never full time.
Yeah, I know.
I never had to struggle to find time to go do art. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go do art. Now I'm gonna be like the dad, the artist in the reel with the baby strapped to his chest while painting.
Yep, that's what it's about to be like.
I don't know, gotta feel a little nervous, but we'll figure it out as we go.
I remember when me and Renata had Ace, our youngest one. He's 6 now, be 7 this year. I remember, I was like, I'm about to have him. He gonna be in his little basket net thing, like right here in the art room while I'm painting and working. Nah, none of that happened because he did not like to lay down. He didn't like to lay down. He didn't like to just chill. He used to want to be up and going. So it was crazy trying to find time to paint. But that was just us. It's probably different for y'all. You know what I mean?
I've been praying that this future son of mine is what I'm hoping for. I don't know yet what it is. We'll find out next week. That he's chill and laid back, and I can put him in the bassinet or the playpen next to me as I paint. So I'm like talking, and I'll play some music. Like hopefully the kid will work with me and not have to be. If not, he'll be strapped right here as I'm painting.
Pull this hold on. Wait. Let me pull this line. Hold my breath. Okay, let's go. That's cool, man.
Yeah, exactly, man.
My 2 oldest were chill as heck, bro. AJ would sleep all day. Landon was cool. Like, Landon could just sit there. As long as you got him, like, right here or something, he liked to be picked up, too, but he didn't move, cry, and nothing. He just was chilling. So, them 2 was chill. And that's why I thought Ace was going to be chill. But Ace is like, nah, I'm different. Like,
I'm bringing a different energy.
I know, man.
So, my first one was like that. You couldn't set her down. Otherwise, it was like Mariah Carey high-pitched crying. Like, I thought she was going to be a singer. My ear is ringing right now. So, I'm hoping this next one is the opposite. My mom always told me as a baby I used to just eat and sleep. That was it. So I was like, I'm like, hopefully that's what we got going, because I guess that's my only worry is that I want to get pulled away too much from my art. But I don't know. We'll see. I've also talked about with my wife going to barber school and cutting hair part time for steady cash flow.
Look, bro, if I didn't have a full-time job, I would be cutting hair. I would be a barber, bro, because I love the schedule. They can make their money. You know what I'm saying? People need haircuts all the time. So
exactly,
we doing that.
Yeah, man. So that's what I got right now. It's kind of like, all right, I got to knock out as much creative stuff as I can before November.
Yeah,
because it might slow down a little bit. So
for sure, man.
That's what we got cooking over here, man.
Congratulations again, man.
Appreciate it. All right, man. So we gotta go ahead and hop into the unhinged section. Mm-hmm. We talk about anything and everything that's popped up lately that has interested us. So what you want to talk about first?
But you know what we gotta talk about first? Sinners.
I was about to say it's gonna be Sinners or your Lakers.
They gotta be Sinners, man. Them Lakers right now, bro. I'll mention them later, but let's talk about Sinners, bro.
I just saw it again with Dylan 2 nights ago.
Yep.
So it's still just as good watching it the second time. Well, you know how some movies hit hard, they're extremely good, but then you watch it again, it loses that. Same shit. It was. I'm like, man, bro. I'm gonna have to get this one a physical copy. I haven't done that since
the Blu-ray package, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, bro. I haven't done that since like 2010.
Yeah, I don't remember the last DVD I bought.
I don't either.
But I'm getting that.
Man, it's just the music, the story, the cinematography. I think the music and the cinematography alone, even if the story didn't have all the deep symbolism stuff. It was like a moving piece of artwork is what I feel like I was watching.
Yep. I could see it being a side. It could almost, I'm gonna say side. It could be a film with no actual talking in it, and I think you would
like a silent film.
Got the music. You would still understand everything that's going on, just how it was shot, and the characters and the way people were acting with their body languages and everything. You would still understand what's going on.
It was, and then I don't even know where to start with the movie. Michael B. Jordan killed it. It looked legit. It was like twin actors who played those parts. The way they differentiated, the body language, the way they talked, the mannerisms, everything were on two completely opposite ends of the spectrum. So it was just crazy to me. I'm like, this is legit. And the way they shot it. I don't know how, like, you know how when they do twin movies and shit, you're like, all right, you know they're not physically touching. Screen,
we ain't really touching each other.
This was like
passing a cigarette.
Bro, he passed that shit perfectly. And then he dapped him up, gave him a hug. I'm like, man, this shit's crazy.
That was dope.
I gotta say, this is probably Michael B. Jordan's best acting job.
This is definitely his best acting job, for sure. And did I send you the thing about why Ryan Coogler chose twins?
I want to say yes, because I think I did. I can't remember what it said, but I
think I just sent it to you. It's based off of the African culture, like twin.
Yeah, the
pieces.
twin. What's it called? Orachas.
Deities.
They're like Orachas. I think I'm saying that right. Is like the African's version of like Greek mythology, with like Zeus and all that. The twins were the two gods. I forgot what they stood for, but I did see that. And I looked into it more, but I can't remember what.
Yeah, it's so much, Brian. Go in it, bro. But everything had a meaning. Like, everything had a reason.
Everything.
You know, it wasn't just, I just wanted it to be twins just because, you know. It's like, nah.
Yeah, the twins had a meaning. You had Mary, which Mary's been a bone of contention for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people were like, stay away. People took it as like, stay away from white women. They're the end of us. And
I definitely joked about it. Because of how it's set up a little bit. How it was set up. Everybody saying no, and she's like, all right, let's just go see. It's like, wait a minute, man. Like, everybody, no, we good. But, yeah, I joked about it when she went out there. And then she was the one who brought it back in. Even though somebody would have got eventually, the way they had her go first, and then she just came back in and brought it back in to everybody. I don't know. I can see why people were saying that. But how did you take it, though?
I took it a multitude of ways, to be honest with you. Obviously, in the day and age when the one drop of black blood made you black, obviously she and her mom was a quarter black, if I remember right, because I think her grandfather was half.
Yeah.
So at that point in time in life, you look at it as like, you're going to use your advantage whatever way you can. If you look like a white woman, you would probably use that to your advantage at times. I think any rightful person who has advantage of any type is going to use that to whatever way they can. She thought the man she loved knew they were going to run out of money soon. She put the dots connected between the Irish beer and the Italian wine on the stack twins, robbed these two, and then played it off as these two were they did it to each other. So she's like, well, they need money. So it was like, white folk at that time period obviously carried more money. So she's like, why don't I use my physical look as a white person? 'Cause she didn't talk white. All right, I'm half white. I obviously would have been counted as black during that time period. Growing up as a kid, as a biracial kid, is like when the vampire Remick told her, I can feel the deep pain and you want to feel like you belong. I mean, that's how I felt pretty much, and especially after I found out I was half black. I just wanted to feel like I belonged to something, like I belonged to a group. I mean, I think that's just a normal human instinct anyways, because we're all social creatures. We want to feel like we belong to a group. We belong to a family. And I think that's where she just lost her mother. So I think that's how she definitely felt. Obviously, she was in love with Stack. And I think she played a little too close to the fire and tried to use her white appearance as a way to gain money from the white people, the vampires, and it backfired and they sucked her in with them.
Yeah.
But I didn't take it as with a lot of
Stay
internets
away.
taking it.
Okay. Well,
I mean, and again, she grew up with the black folks. Her mom raised the twins. There's a reason why Annie says she family. Like everyone, she was part of that culture up to a certain point. Now, her mom probably took her away from that, and then she went with white man, wherever was Arkansas she was from. I don't even know. But I think her heart and her soul belonged with the black folk, but her parents showed white, which is a very...
And they kept saying it was dangerous for her. Like he was trying to keep her safe because everybody probably looked at her as just a white girl.
Yeah.
And why you over here hanging out with the black folks?
And was in love with the black man.
In love with a black man. So that's one of the deeper takes on it. Like if you really listen to it, you can pull that from it. And it's somebody like you said who's half white. I think it was more easy for you to take a deeper look into that and see something more than just what the easy picking was, which was goddamn it, another white person coming in and messing stuff
fucking up for
yeah. So I think that was the easy pickings. You know what I mean?
That's the surface level look, which it makes sense.
Yeah.
I looked at it a little further than that.
I can see that for sure, man. But let's talk about. Oh, you got something else you want to say to it?
Oh, I was going to mention everyone's talking about Annie and Smoke's love relationship.
Oh, yeah. But what about?
And how bad Stack and Mary's relationship was. They're both love stories in their own right.
Mm-hmm.
Annie was the shit. Annie's probably one of my favorite characters in that whole movie.
Yeah.
But Annie and Smoke had their own issue.
For sure.
They lost the baby, and Smoke dipped out.
He dipped.
But no one says nothing about that. But then you got Mary and Stack. Obviously, that was a white-looking woman with a black man during a time period when that was not okay. That's like a whole tragic love story in itself. And obviously, they ended up being together forever because they both ended up being vampires. So, I don't know. Everyone was like, oh, this love's great. This one's bad. They were both great, and they both had tragic stuff to it. But anyways, I'm going to get off. All right, go ahead. What did you want?
No, it's true, though. And both of them probably got their happy ending in a sense anyways.
Yeah.
So that
in the afterlife.
With his wife, his woman,
and kid.
And his child.
Yeah.
Right? And Stat got to be with his girl. So,
yep.
What I was going to talk about is what would you take as one of your favorite scenes from the movie, what are you picking as? If you had to just choose one scene that you could just like rewatch.
Honestly, there's two that I actually loved. The first one is probably what everyone is talking about. Sammy, preacher boy, was playing the guitar. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden you see some dude in the African outfit. You're like, wait, what's going on here? And then 2 seconds later, you get some guy from the future playing an electric guitar, dressed part of the Funkadelic. I was like, wait, hold on, what's going on with this? And then it hopped over to the MC, and then the DJ booth came up, and you got the modern music, and the girls are twerking. I'm like, wait, hold on, what's going on? But then they gave the voiceover, because obviously they did a little quick flashback talking about how music connects you to your ancestors, but also can connect you to the future. And I was like, man, just as an artist myself, I don't make music, but I paint, and I do create stuff all the time. I feel like that really touched my soul to the point where I'm like, when I create and I make my artwork, it's me connecting with my past and hopefully connecting with whatever future's ahead of me, whether I'm here or not. Hopefully my artwork will speak to someone 50 years from now. I thought that was just a super creative way and a different way of doing it. And it was almost like watching, I hate musicals, but like this, but there's a lot of music in this. And that scene really was just dope to me. It's like how we connect to our ancestors and to the futures of our people.
That was shot beautifully, bro. Especially when they came back in and the whole club was on fire.
Oh man, and the whole
everybody
burnt down
still just dancing and
everyone was free
going on. Yeah,
and then they ended with that darkness of the three vampires walking up. You're like, oh fuck, this is about to go left real quick. So that's gotta be probably my number one. My other scene was when Pearline was singing. And she had the whole juke joint up dancing. She's on the stage, and it's shot with her dancing. And then you see the guy playing the piano, but everyone in the crowd is dancing their ass off. Like that, I love that scene because I feel like that perfectly captured as well, like the juke joint scene, like historically speaking, and how they wanted to escape their daily life of racism, segregation. I mean, they were cotton picking too. Like it's a way for them to get away from all that. So I thought that scene was dope. I know they tied that in with Stack and Mary getting it on, and then that one left. But I just thought, and I love that song. That song was dope. I've been listening to that song on Spotify.
Yeah, I've been listening to the one with the Take Me Home. The one that the Preacher Boy was singing. I've been listening to that one over and over.
I've been both of those. Visual. Pale Pale Moon, I think is what she was singing. And then the Preacher Boy one. Both of those have been playing hot the last
I've been bumping Remy Joint too.
Yeah.
I've been bumping Remy when they was outside the club dancing around in circles. He was doing the Irish River dance.
That's a whole nother thing we could talk about. I mean, you had outcasts through that entire movie. Start off with the Native Americans. Obviously, you know what the United States did to the Native Americans, how that turned out. Even though they were trying to warn the white folk, he's not what he seems to be. But all right, we're getting out of here. It's about to be sunset. Irish folk were considered black in terms of culturally speaking European. They were looked at as they were like the black folk of Europeans. They were looked down upon. They were treated worse or underneath. What was the other one? There was. So that's a whole thing in itself because
I know
Mary was Chinese, but the husband was Southeast Asian. That's why he had more melanin.
Oh, okay.
And Southeast Asians among Asians are looked at as like the black folk of Asians as well.
Right.
Because of even in Asian culture, now the darker you are, the lower status you seem to appear. The more fair skin you are, the higher status. But like you saw the husband came in and gave Smoke a hug. We were boys and we haven't seen each other forever.
Yeah.
The Asian woman, the Chinese woman, Mary came in there. Not Mary. What was her name?
I can't remember her name. I had to look it up.
But the Chinese woman came in there haggling. The Chinese woman looked at them not as family, but as a way to profit, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, she fucked up everything. Grace. Yeah. So.
But I also saw, too, that I didn't know that back in the days, like, Asians were the go-to people to get stuff from. You know how they had the little community area.
Because they're the only ones that serve the black folk.
So I can see there's reasons why people look down at them, too, especially the white people look down at them because, y'all want to go over there and serve the black people.
It was like a social hierarchy. Obviously, you had whites, Asians, and then it was blacks on the bottom. But obviously, the Asians are only people who serve groceries to the black folks, so that worked in their benefit because now they're doubling up on black and white folk. But I honestly didn't know the Mississippi Delta area had a Chinese or an Asian population.
I ain't know that either, and I lived there. I ain't gonna hold you. I knew we had a little China restaurant, you know what I'm saying? I remember a few Chinese, but I didn't know it was deep rooted like that. Like they were the only people who would serve. I didn't know that. So I learned something.
Like all the black people got their groceries from the Chinese folk. Oh man, it's interesting.
Man.
That's why I think Remick was such a good villain in his own way. He could relate to what the black folk were going for because he went through it. I don't know how many hundreds of years or how old he was, but back when the Irish had to go through it in Europe, it was like he enticed them. I feel like everything he said was sugarcoated. He was like a used car salesman. He was like intriguing people to join his side. But what's interesting is he literally became what he hated.
Yeah. And
how like the Catholics or whatever stole his stuff and his father's land and all this stuff, and then now he's assimilating people and wanting Sammy into his culture so he can benefit off it. It's just like a culture vulture type saying.
I was just thinking, that's what I was thinking. The best villains, bro, are villains that you can relate to. You can relate to them, but then at the same time, you're like, okay, but I know you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I feel what you're saying.
I understand where you're coming from.
So the best villains, bro.
So yeah, I feel like if you can relate to him in some type of way, like he wasn't just born evil. He turned that way because of his experiences and the things he had dealt with and what he thought was the answer to the problem. Or like they're the hero to their own story, even though the story they're writing is shitty for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That was
a scene that was...
Yeah, what's your favorite?
Okay, excluding the ones you mentioned, I'm gonna have to say when Smoke took care of the Klansman, because honestly, when I was watching the movie, bro, I almost forgot about the fact that
scene.
You know, I almost forgot about them motherfuckers. I was like, oh shit, the Klan set them up because Remy told them, hey, bro, they set y'all up. They coming back, and then at the end, bro, he was trying to roll up his smoke and he couldn't. He got down to business, bro. Came from out the woods. That shit was, I was like, hell yeah, get all them motherfuckers. That
Oh, I
scene
was
cold.
too. I was like, yeah. When he came in there, because like in the trailer, they show him shooting the, I don't know, it was the Tommy gun. It's like, do. I completely forgot about that part until that.
Right.
I'm like, wait. Oh shit! This is what they're. Oh man, that motherfucker took everyone out. I was like, get him.
I know, bro. Because when he started preparing all the weapons, I was like, oh shit, Smoke finna become a vampire hunter or something like that. I was trying to figure out what he doing, and then I remembered the Klansman coming. Yeah. Another scene I liked was, damn, it's crazy. Well, this other scene I liked was at the end credits when Stack and Mary came.
And Mary show up at his blues club.
Because my wife at the end was like, that's it. She was like, that's the end of the movie. And I was like, yeah, man, Smoke took out all the people, you know what I mean? Preacher Boy escaped, you know, he still left the Delta because he didn't want to stay there. She was like, that just don't seem like it's supposed to be. So we sat there for a minute, and then it came back up with the Blues Club scene, and Mary came rolling in, him with the Coogee sweater on, you know, these vibes. Yeah. I was like, okay, this is it right here. Way to end the movie, man. Give us something else.
I like that scene too. Okay, so the cut scene after that, the very last one, where he's playing. What song is he playing? He's playing in the church. Sammy was, and he looks up. What do you think he's looking at? I've heard some people say theories about he made a deal with the devil because that's a common blues legend. What's his name? Robert.
Oh yeah. Sold to the devil.
Sold to the devil at the crossroads. Mm-hmm. Like some people think Sammy sold his soul to the devil, and that's how that whole vampire thing popped up. I just want to know what your thought was, because my thought is obviously opposite of that.
Well, I'm trying. Like, when was this scene?
After when Stack and Mary showed up at the old boys club in the 90s.
Okay.
There's another.
Was there more credits and then that scene happened?
Yeah.
Wait, did I miss?
So it's just Sammy's playing on his guitar in the middle of his father's church.
I think I missed that scene.
And he's playing a church hymn or something. But then when he stops, his eyes look up, and it cuts out and ends. Well, some people thought he played. Some people thought I forgot what song he was playing. I think the song was actually playing in the beginning of the movie too. I think that's what he was playing.
What?
At the end, you gotta wait. This is like you gotta wait a couple minutes of the credits, and then there's one last scene of him playing. But he's back to his original, like his young self.
His young self.
Some people thought he made a deal with the devil right there, and that's why he's looking up. I took it in a different manner.
All right,
and the reason why he never let go of his guitar in the first place, because you saw that part where he's like, his father was like, let the guitar go, and because I feel like gifts that can transcend time, gifts that are given, like your creativity, my creativity, I believe all those things come from God.
Okay.
He's playing in the church. He's playing guitar. And I think during that time period, obviously, juke joint, like dancing was a sin. Playing blues music was a sin. And to me, I don't agree with those. I think those are man's ideas, man's interpretation of the Bible, what a sin is. We have the gift to paint, the gift of art. And I don't ever see that being given to me from the devil, I guess you could say. Now, the devil might want to use your talent in his own way, but the reason why Sam would never let go of the guitar, because he knew deep down that's part of who he was. That was a talent given to him from God, which is why he always held on to the guitar. So when he's playing at the end of the last cutscene, I think he's playing the guitar and he's playing a church song in a church. And he's looking up, like he's looking up at God or Jesus, because obviously you know how they have crosses and stuff all over. That's the way I took it. Some people took it the opposite way. That's just the way I thought it was. You'll have to watch. You could probably. I don't know if you can pull it up yet.
Dang, that's crazy, because you saying it to me and I'm picturing it, like I can see it, but I'm not remembering straight up.
Yeah, he's sitting in a chair. He's playing his black guitar with he used the Smash remake in the head. He's playing with that.
Yeah,
and he's just singing, and he's by himself. But then as he plays and he comes to the end, he looks up, and then it cuts out. Some people took it as he made a deal with the devil, and I'm like, I believe. No, I believe God gives you gifts. How you use those gifts are up to you to decide. And I think the devil can try to tempt you in using your gifts in his service. But I feel like my art was a God-given talent that God gave to me since I was born. So I just look at it that way instead of being evil, which is why I feel like he never let go of the guitar. I was like, man, don't let go of that guitar. You can't give away that. I was like, no, man, you got to keep that gift.
Got you through. And it just saves you. It did everything for you. So. But 10 out of 10. Ryan Coogler was on point with it. He could do no wrong to me.
I'm ready for X-Files, and I've never even seen X-Files.
I don't even care about it.
I'm coming out to support Cougar like a sports team. I won't be there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Cougar? I'm out. I'm going. I won't be there.
Hey, man, Cougar on his, what's the guy's name, bro? Steven Spielberg type vibes right now, bro. Like, whatever he putting out, I'm checking out.
But, all right. So here's the question, since we were talking about Sinners, and I know we brought this up before. Is Sinners Cougar's best movie, or Cougar and Michael B. Jordan's best movie? Or do you think, like, some people argued Black Panther, some people said Sinners? What you think?
I like Black Panther, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it was him and Ryan and Michael B. Jordan's best movie together, because I feel like a lot of Chadwick Boseman and the sheer, like, the story that was already there, like, a lot of that played a good role into it for me. But I would even say, because you can go back and look at a movie like Fruitvale Station, bro, like when it was literally just he was the star, Ryan Coogler was the director. That's how I'm seeing it. Like,
I don't even think Michael B. Jordan is a star then yet, though.
He was still a young dude. I think he had done, because I seen him in Friday Night Lights. I seen him in The Wire, Hardball, Friday Night Lights. That's where I remembered him from. And then he broke into the acting world a little bit more with Fruitvale Station. That jumped pretty deep too if you go back and watch it.
I gotta watch that. I haven't seen it yet. But I'm
gonna say, I'm gonna say Sinners is their best movie together, to be honest. To me, I'm gonna say it's their best movie.
I think so too, and I think Marvel being Marvel, Kevin Feige or whatever his name is, all them, they probably always had their input on the movie and say on what was gonna happen at some point. I don't think that was a pure Coogler movie. I think it was a lot of him, but Marvel's always gonna have their hands in that shit. Where Sinners, you could tell he had final cut.
Yep.
All the shit. He didn't have to take nothing from the studios. They had it was all him, and then maybe Michael B. Jordan, because he's directed some too, might add in some of his own stuff. But I feel like Black Panther was a much more mainstream movie for kids, families, all that stuff. So I think I could see why some people would put Black Panther. But as an art form, like a pure like an artist, I would say Sinners is probably a better movie.
Yep.
I agree. From the way it was shot, the music, all the symbolism. Like, there's literally, the whole movie's full of symbolisms and story and behind the scenes stuff and educating people. Because like you said, I had no idea there was a bunch of Asians, or not a bunch, but there was Asian community in the Mississippi Delta. Like, that never even crossed my mind. So I think I got to go Sinners. And I don't even like horror movies.
Me too, man, because me either, bro. I don't pay for people to scare me, bro. I ain't going to the movies to watch those. I don't even remember the last time I went to the movies to see a scary movie, bro. Quote unquote, like, horror film.
I think The Conjuring.
Man, I ain't even seen that movie.
And that was the first one. It was like 15 years ago or more.
Yeah, I don't even know. I think I went to the movies to see the first Saw movie.
I saw the first
Freddy
one.
versus Jason. The only horror, probably the last horror scary film that I went to the movies to see.
Yeah, I don't even go see scary movies. Get Out, does that count?
I mean, it's
a horror movie, but
horror, suspense.
I saw that in theaters, so that would probably be the last one, honestly, that I saw. But again, that had such deep meaning. It was more than just a horror movie.
Yeah.
But
because some people were hating on it, talking about it was all right. I was like, nah, that movie was a 10 out of 10, bro. 10 out of 10.
I agree. So I will be supporting anything he puts out.
That's all. I was going to ask about the Black Panther or Sinners, but you took care of that question. So I think that's it. I got to say about Sinners, bro.
Yeah, that's it for me as well. I've been playing that soundtrack, but that's about it.
Yeah.
How you feel about your Lakers?
Bruh, I get so, you know how I be getting, bro. I be like, fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Which is how I felt. Because it made me mad, because when they made the trade, everybody was like, don't expect much. They just got Luka, even though Luka's a superstar. He was injured and all this. We ain't got no big man. So don't expect them to do much. But what happened was, you can look at all that and be like, okay, cool, I understand. That's true. They don't have a big man. Luka was injured. He probably ain't in the best condition anyway. But they went on a run. They went on a run, bro. And for a month or so, they was like the best defensive team in the West.
Oh, yeah. I think it was like 8 weeks. They were the best defensive team in all of basketball.
Right. And then they went up to the 3rd seed, because it was like OKC for sure. And it was the Houston Rockets and the Lakers. And then everybody else, 4 through 8, everybody else was just fighting one game apart. So nobody was even really paying attention too much to the other teams, they just like, they fighting for the bottom. So the Lakers gave folks false hope, like always, in recent years. They went out there and every weakness they had got exposed. They looked tired, showing no grit. Nobody wanted to be out there playing no real defense. They ain't had no big man. Rudy Gobert, the last game, he showed out. And you got Rudy Gobert show out in the playoffs. Bro, that's the time
he hadn't had a 20-point game since 2001. 27 and like 20-some rebounds. That's why I was like, Rudy. Even Shaq was like, do you see when Shaq was talking about Rudy? Bro, he was like, it was at halftime. And Shaq was like, act like he's throwing up. He was like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Shaq or Rudy's is dominating.
Oh, nobody like Rudy, bro. Everybody feel like he's like a fake defensive player type guy, bro.
Bro, it was hilarious. And then they had the memes, and they showed the cat looked like he was gagging on a hairball, and he's like a Shaq after he said Rudy was going dominant.
Oh man!
Oh my goodness! It was great.
But I'm glad I got put out my misery though, because I told you, bro. Like I'm tired of LeBron James, because he still can play at a high level. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that the teams that he's on now, like he can't, because everybody's putting him up there as okay, man. We got Luka, we got LeBron, we got AD, we got LeBron. We should be able to dominate. Go ahead.
I actually think they would have done better in this series if they had Luka.
Okay, I can see that.
At least from up here.
Oh yeah, it would have definitely been more defense. He would have been killing Rudy.
Rudy would have been too small. Lakers would have done better with AD than Luka. Luka, they did a percentages. So like last game, there was I think they said he had 16 instances of where he was guarding one-on-one, and he got blown by 9 times. First off, you're a professional basketball player. Get in shape. There were times even in college where I got injured. I tore my hamstring, and I was busting my ass to get back in shape or stay in shape and get my hamstring right to get back to play. They were saying that like for Dallas, he got hurt, was it like midway through the season? And
right after Christmas.
And he's putting on a bunch of weight. Bro, honestly, like I don't blame, what's his name? What is his name? The guy from,
Nico.
Honestly, he sees him every day. I just don't.
Yeah.
The way he plays is not a winning championship mentality.
And they making Nico look good right now. On ESPN this morning, everybody was like, well, we got to back up off Nico Harris now because he saw this coming. If I'm Nico, I'm like, nah, y'all keep that same energy. I told y'all. This motherfucker, he talented, but he ain't got that 300 million type talent. Like the shit we going to give SGA, Tatum and Brown.
Ant-Man.
They go out there and work, and Ant-Man, like, they will be out there earning it, and they play on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And they ain't want to pay $300 million for somebody who only gonna play on one side and a defensive liability.
100%. And the thing is, he's also a ball hog. Like Steph. Steph can score 30 points not having the ball in his hand. He can run around, get open, get his shots off. Luka is useless if he doesn't have the ball in his hands. He literally would sit off to the side and put in no effort.
Dribbling back to the basket. Like I love watching the Warriors offense because I love how everybody's just moving around trying to confuse people and making people, tiring people out, And then when I be watching pretty much any offense that LeBron James is, they kind of have that stagnant, like the person at the top get the ball. We don't really run no plays, and it's kind of like, okay, let's see if we can make something happen.
Yeah,
but
we're going State's trying to set screens all day, every day, and get people open or get Steph open.
Yeah,
and like Ant-Man. Ant-Man, I think, has become one of my favorite NBA players, just for the simple fact that way he reminds me of more of like a early 2090s mentality. Like when he pushed LeBron, I was eating that up. I was like, this is LeBron, and he's like, and he's what, 4 or 5 inches shorter than LeBron. Ant-Man's only like 6'4", and still he had that mentality like, I'm gonna guard you, even though you might be stronger than me. He made him work, which again tires the other person out.
It's like, you may be stronger, you may be taller, bro, but I'm younger. I got more energy. Yeah. I don't care how you put it, bro. If you 40 years old, somebody, a 24, 25-year-old who's constantly working out too, bro, they gonna be in better shape than you.
Oh, yeah.
They go, because LeBron will put up 16 in the third quarter and score no points in the fourth quarter. Like, that's what he on right now.
I mean, he's 40 years old. The fact that he's still playing is amazing. But again, this comes back to Luka. when you're not playing 2D whatsoever, that means the 4 other guys on the court have to play harder to make up for your lack of effort. And none of the people on the Lakers are really that great defensively.
They are the defensive liability as well.
Oh,
LeBron
facts.
James can give you spurts, but they were blown by LeBron.
LeBron can give you one side of the ball, and I feel like this series he gave a hell of a lot of defense because he played some damn good defense, but then that's where his scoring suffers. So it's like, yeah, I've never been a Lakers fan, so I was kind of happy to see them go down, but I was like, man.
I already told you, though. I was like, hey, if they lose this series, I was like, let's go, Steph. Get your 5th ring, bro. Because, at first I was hating. I was like, no, I don't want Steph to get his 5th ring if LeBron ain't got 5. But at this point, if they going to go out there and ball, go get your 5th ring, bro. I ain't even hating no more.
So if Steph gets his 5th ring, I feel like it's no longer just the LeBron era. It's the Steph and LeBron era. Because everyone's like, oh,
that's
LeBron's
true.
been
That's
this.
true.
I feel like the man's got 5 rings.
LeBron,
it's the Steph and LeBron era. You can't be talking about it's the only LeBron era when Steph has 5 championships if he gets 5 during LeBron's whole run.
3 of them were during LeBron's prime years, even though 2 of them kind of stacked the deck. But
they had Durant.
Y'all do what you do. But yeah, that's how I feel about the whole situation.
I want to see Butler get a
Butler ain't got
ring.
no ring.
I would like to see him get one.
He deserves one, man. So I'm just glad now I can watch these games and not really care and just enjoy. That's when I enjoy the sports the most, bro. When I can just watch it and not be invested too heavily into who wins or who loses, man.
I think whoever wins this series, if Golden State beats the Rockets, whoever wins between the Wolves and Golden State, I feel like it's who I'm going to be pulling for from the West.
Okay.
I like Ant-Man.
I told you.
And Steph. Ant-Man and Steph are probably my 2 favorite players. So I'll probably go Golden State just because I want to see them get one more ring for Steph and Jimmy. But if not, I'd probably be pulling for Ant-Man to get a ring.
No, the East is like the lost stepchild or something because nobody really cares about the East that much. The Celtics be balling, Cleveland Cavaliers balling, but nobody really cares. I think everybody's still looking at the West as we want somebody from the West to come out and win it, man. Because that's why they do Jason Tatum like that. Like he should be balling. He got a championship,
bro.
But nobody still wants to make him the face of the league. Everybody's still like Ant-Man is the face of the league.
I think it's part of personality. He has that chill. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant-ish type competitiveness.
Ant-Man.
The personality go with it. Where Tatum is much more low key, so I think that works against him. But I mean, Tatum gets probably more disrespect than any other player in the league, just because he to me is definitely probably a top 5 player, and he doesn't get treated like he's a top 5 player.
Most definitely.
And he's from St. Louis, so I got to represent.
Okay, from the loop, and he proud. But staying in sports, down to the 5th round. What you think about?
I don't even know. Now that I've seen more and heard more.
I know, right? Yeah.
I still don't think 5th round. I think that's too low.
Yeah, I don't think 5th round. It shouldn't
Steelers should have taken him in the 3rd round. Instead, they took a D tackle or something. I think the 3rd round is probably where he should have been picked. Maybe 2nd, because they had other quarterbacks picked that I honestly don't think are better than Shedeur. Like, Dart.
Yeah, in the 2nd, Raiders probably could have took him. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere in the 2nd if he would go. But since he didn't, I just knew the Steelers was going to grab him in the 3rd. So
that's what I thought. Yeah. They don't have a quarterback. Like, they have Mason Rudolph. That's it. Like, they don't have nothing. So I'm
like Aaron Rodgers.
That's a whole conversation in itself. These are the Steelers. This is not the Jets. Steelers have been known as a good organization, a well-run organization, and an historic organization forever. So to be sitting here,
kissing his ass,
wagging your tail like a dog, waiting for Rodgers to accept your offer, I would have been set up like I would have picked up Shedeur. You gonna roll with Mason Rudolph? I don't get it.
Why not? Bro, that would have been perfect, bro, because Aaron Rodgers got to know, bro. You got to know. Ain't nobody finna sign your ass to no 4-year type contract, bro. You coming in for a year.
41 years old and had Achilles tear 2 years ago. And he didn't play that well last year.
One false move, bro, and you over here, you throwing ducks like Peyton Manning did in his final season. That man came from out of nowhere just throwing ducks. But I feel like they should have picked him up, bro. And they probably could have still signed Aaron Rodgers because now you're in the 3rd round. You know, you probably going to come to camp. We're going to see what you're working with. If Aaron Rodgers who we rolling with, we'll see him, let him start. but we'll be training up Shedeur to take over the reins, bro. But looking back at it, and like you said, looking at more stuff from Jamel Hill had some solid, valid points on why he probably didn't get selected. And I think her points would have been 100% solidified and valid if he had got drafted in the 3rd round. The fact that he got knocked down to the 5th shows a little bit of pettiness to me from the NFL. But
which that's how NFL works. They have a little bit of a what's that? I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of the right word. She said it, like slave mentality, but like that.
We run this type stuff, or
it's like the shield first. There's no individuals above the shield.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but 5th round that just seemed a little low to me. 3rd, I think 3rd would have been solid.
I think Cam Newton, even during the season, was the only person who was really saying it like it was with Shedeur. He was like, Shedeur's a good player, but he was like, what has he done? He was like, Shedeur ain't really done nothing for him to be feeling like he is him. You know what I mean? Bro, you really ain't did that much to be feeling like you should be the top dog and talking all this shit. If you ain't trying to change your franchise, don't draft me. Like, bro, you ain't winning no Heisman, no national championship. You like Cam Newton was and everybody was like, well, Cam Newton gonna talk? He arrogant, bro. Cam Newton was an A1 plus. You know what I'm saying? Heisman Trophy championship winner, went undefeated in the
MVP.
SEC. Come on, bro. And he won an MVP about 5 years into his career.
Something like that, yeah.
Like, he was, Cam Newton could talk that shit, bro. And Mel Hills was saying, if you got drama in your life, the NFL will still draft you as long as you got the talent to match it.
It's talent. It's a talent associated league. Like, they're in it for talent acquisitions. So
we're gonna work with you.
So like
you cold
Abdul Carter, or I think that's what they said it was. Didn't they say he has past domestic violence situations? But they took him 1st round.
They was like, he's worth it. We're gonna get that worked out, my boy. We're gonna get that worked out.
So that's why I think that's what made it so much more wild. Is that like I'm like, bro, you know that this man's been arrested, domestic violence, but you still like 1st round pick. But then Shedeur drops to 5th. I was like, that's just crazy to me. But I do love how that video I sent you with Cam Ward was talking.
He was killing them. Bro.
I thought Shedeur was about to cry. I'm like, man, this sounds real soft right now.
Shedeur was trying, bro. He was trying, but that's what it is. You there with your daddy all the time. Ain't nobody gonna talk too crazy to you unless it's your daddy talking crazy to you.
Man, you got that. You got that word because all you throw is dumps and checkdowns. I was like, if I did that, I would have 90%.
Exactly. He was like, you got a run game. He's like, it's my fault I got a run game. That further validates my point, bro.
He's like, man, we need to take a water break. He's like, I drink Gatorade. I get paid for it.
Because I'm bored. That's some petty shit. Come on. He was like, well, I get paid to play football. Man. You definitely finna get paid $40-some million to play football.
Man, that was hilarious. Like, they gave me a whole different light of Shedeur. I'm like, he getting roasted right now.
Yeah, man.
It just came across being...
Everybody was saying how he was purposely bombing on teams that he didn't want to draft him. So that don't help none. And the Giants said that he was ill prepared when they was asking him questions. So, I mean, I think a lot of stuff was right for him to get drafted in the 3rd round, not the 5th. But man, the 5th is crazy because the 5th, like, you literally coming in and you got 5 quarterbacks in that room right now. You take out of Deshaun.
And they didn't even. If you saw like when they drafted Shedeur, the faces, like they did like the general manager and the coach. They didn't want his ass. That was the owner, and the owner was like, "Hey, 5th round, take him. Like if he busts, he busts. Like it's not a big deal."
A little $4 million.
But the coach and general manager was like, nah, I don't want this fool on my team. They're like,
because his daddy said, like, shout out to the Cleveland Browns, but I would not want to play for them. If I was quarterback, I would not want to be playing for them.
Yeah.
So now, if you go watch the Cam Newton podcast, he covered it on Shedeur. He was like, all that's in the past now. What Shedeur need to be doing is not talking about being legendary. He needs to go in and just show the work. Cam was like, the stuff that people didn't see about me was how I would have my playbook. I would be going up to the OGs, asking the OGs, can you help me out with this? He said, you got to make sure the owner is straight Make sure the head coach good. Make sure your position coach good. You got to go in with a little more professionalism than everybody else. Because they expect the DBs to come in there cocky, hoodie on, all low and stuff, wide receivers. Yeah. They expect that from them because they're not really expected to be leaders of the entire, team. Of the locker room.
Yeah. The face of the organization.
Yeah. So Shedeur Sanders ain't have to be that, because he plays one position. You know what I'm saying? He was great at it. But he didn't have to be
corner and kick returner.
Yeah. He didn't have to be the glue. Quarterback got to be the glue, bro.
Yeah.
Your players, they going to come first, and you just got to put your head down and put in the work. First one in, last one to leave, especially now because you fighting for a spot. Ain't no guaranteed spot.
Maybe that will teach them some humbleness, and we'll see how it goes. I'll be interested to see.
People's getting mad because they were saying stuff like, oh, you got to be humble. But then folks would be like, ain't nobody say such and such had to be humble. It's like, y'all, calm down. It's not like y'all are part of the problem, bro. Let people be able to try to help the young man because he failed in the draft.
Yeah. And he should have had an agent instead of having his dad. I think that was a big misfire.
Shedeur was like, as soon as Shedeur get drafted, he was like, I had to give me an agent because dad wasn't getting the job done.
And then he got picked up by the Bucks.
Yeah, so now you get a chance to go in there and show out because I don't know why Shedeur thought he was going to get drafted. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but bro, nobody was
looked at you like burnt on the Senior Bowl.
He was a decent player, I'll say. Yeah, bro, it was getting.
I think they were saying in the Senior Bowl he had a hard time covering any of the wide receivers. I heard it was getting burnt. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but that's what they were saying.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he made it on the team. He got himself an agent, and he's on the Bucks for now.
Show himself. Yeah. Lock in, bro. Let's see. Oh, I do want to bring up the fact that Jalen Hurts said, I ain't going to the White House.
Bro, I just became a Jalen Hurts fan.
Facts.
When he got asked by the
but now I'm a fan.
When he got asked by the interviewer, are you going to go to the White House? He was like, and just walked away. I don't even want to answer that dumbass question.
Like, come on now. Like, man, is Saquon out here being a good old boy playing golf with Trump?
I was like, man, I want to respect the office. I'm sorry, I don't care. No. I got no respect for the office. None whatsoever. Why would I? When you over here deporting U.S. citizens and children, and one has cancer. The hell? Oh, man. That's a whole podcast.
I just refuse to be used by the administration. You're not finna parade me around and thinking that just because you hanging with the black guy, you cool with everybody. Nah, dog. You're not using me for that purpose. And Saquon got used for that purpose, which I ain't even surprised. I'm not even surprised by it.
No, I wasn't. I was for a split second, but then some of his other stuff, I'm like, all right, that makes a little more sense. But I mean, they said there was 14 other players from the Eagles who didn't go to the White House. It wasn't just Jalen. Jalen was one of the 14. But I was like, but his face when he got asked, "Are you going to the White House?" He was like, and then looked back and then walked away. I'm like, man, you just moved up into some of my favorite quarterback spots.
Man, good shit. I love it, man.
Oh man, that was great. I thought that was like the best response I've seen in a while. The no response was a response. That was great.
Yeah.
All right.
That's it. That's all I got, bro. This next segment we about to do, we call it Top 5. Top 5, Top 5, Top 5, Top 5. And so we pick a random question just so you guys can know a little bit more about us. Today's Top 5 question is going to be Top 5 Childhood Memories. We didn't write anything down for this segment.
No,
I came up with it today. We probably got to think a little bit, but if we can just go back to some, we're going to do Top 5 Childhood Memories, man. You want to go first, or?
Yeah, I got one. I have one pop in my head.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, let's see. Okay. So my first memory that really came to me was, this was the summer after my freshman year of high school. I started taking football real serious. My dad he drove me up to Mizzou, University of Missouri. They had I think it was like a 3-day camp. It's like a 3-day football camp. And this is like from people from all over the country. So I was going into my sophomore year, and this was like a full-on camp. We did a 40, got timed for that. We did a bunch of drills, one-on-one scrimmages versus offensive players. And first off, I killed a 40. I ran like a 4.5 at, what is that, 13? I think. Right? How old are we as freshmen? 14, 13?
My son's a freshman. He's 14. 15, actually. So 14, 15. He older.
Yeah,
freshman, 14.
I was 14. I ran a 4.5. So everyone kind of looked at me funny. At that point in time, I didn't know shit. Is that bad? Is that good? They looked at me like, all right. I went in as a linebacker. That was my position for the camp. The defensive line coach for Mizzou was my coach for the defense. He had me playing middle linebacker. On the last day, we had a full-on scrimmage, offense for defense, full hit, full contact, everything. I was fucking people up. So at the end of the camp, they gave away camp MVPs, and so the camp was like 450 kids. So they called me up. Damn. This is like going into I was a young kid, so they called me like, hey, we're gonna go ahead, because they had different. So they did sophomores, juniors, and seniors. For the sophomores, they only had 2 people, one for defense, one for offense. So they called me up to the front and said I was camp MVP for defense among all the sophomores. And I was excited as hell. I was ecstatic.
That's dope.
I was up in there. I mean, I was so shy and nervous that I was like, man, I don't know. It gave me like an amazing feeling. Like, man, to get appreciated and encouraged to work harder and really take this shit serious. That was definitely a shining moment for me. That's definitely dope. One of mine.
I know football wasn't my call. I remember playing park commission and getting hit stick. You feel me? Like, you could do the hey, the drill where they would have 2 lines and you lay on your back at one end, other person lay on their back at the other end, and they say go. You got to get up and run and hit it. Got up, bro. Got
what they call that? Is that the Oklahoma drill? Yeah, I think that's it. What it was. But yeah, you get up off, you both on your back, and you get up, and then you smack the shit out of you. Yeah.
All I saw was the sky, my boy. I was like, this ain't for me. I'm an artist. This ain't for me. I'm going to the band, baby. Yes, sir. Hey. All right, so my first childhood memory was summer art camps. I went in 1999, and then I missed 2000. I went 2001 to like 2003. So summer arts camp was a 2-week camp. The first time it was a daily camp. You would go during the day, then go home. But the next few years after that, we started staying on campus. We stayed on the college campus and some kids. We out here on the college campus having a good time. And we waking up, going to our classes every day. It was cool. It was just a fun memory. I met some good people that I don't hang out with when I was in school. But we went to the same school I hung out with at that camp. And they was from the hood. So that's when I started learning a lot more because I was hanging out with the hood guys at camp, bro. And it was cool, bro. It was fun, man. And it was like, shout out to those dudes. But summer arts camp, bro, it was fun. I learned a lot about art while I was there and discovered the real passion I had for it. Summer art camp at Delta State University, man. That's my first memory.
You know what's funny is I had no art camps when I was a kid. It was all sports.
Yeah.
I always took art in school and stuff, but I never went to camp though. That's it. Oh, okay. So my second one is also a sports one. This was 5th grade, like my second or third year playing baseball. It was, I want to say it was 5th grade when I lived in Florida. I was on like not the top team yet, but I was like in the middle. They had intermediate, beginner, and all that. So I was one step below the top players. Anyways, I remember hitting my first ever home run in 5th grade out the park off someone's windshield. And, bro, that was such a good feeling, man. I jacked it out of the park. I mean, the park is for little kids. It was like 250 feet or something. I felt so good. Everyone's like, yeah, because like honestly, that age, like there's a couple of us, but there's not many kids that get hit.
Yeah, ain't too many people just like smacking that thing. Yeah.
Man, that was an amazing feeling. Just to run around the bases and see my parents sitting on benches cheering me on. That was a good one. And continuing my journey, I was a serious baseball player for about a decade. I started off with t-ball and I played up until 8th grade, I think. And I went All-Star League, I think 6 years in a row, and had home run derby and all that. That was the start. At first, I could only hit, and I was shitty at fielding. Yeah. But then I think I caught up to because I was growing so much. I was growing inches a month at that time.
Dang.
And I think it took me a while to get coordinated, like grow into my body. So then the fielding caught on. So then I was like a really good center fielder and hitter. But yeah, man, that first home run was always definitely be a memory.
Well, I sucked at baseball too. And my homeboy would tell you every time he played catcher, I was on second base. And anytime somebody would try to steal the second, he would get up, launch that bitch, and I would miss it. So, yeah. Yeah. Shout out to my parents for still coming out there, even though I wasn't doing shit.
Oh, man. That's funny.
Shout out to them, bro. All right, man. So I'm going to go with a fifth grade memory as well, man. But mine was more fifth grade, like Christmas time. For some reason, like that Christmas stands out to me because at school, they did this thing where they did the poem. What's the name of that poem, bro? Night Before Christmas. And every grade level had a piece of the poem, and they would have to decorate the classroom to fit the theme of what they had. I don't know what part of the poem we had, but our theme was like, it's a small world. And we had to build these little dioramas of buildings and stuff to make a little mini town in the classroom. And all the parents would come by to each room and look at what the kids had done. And we'd be sitting there singing, it's a small world after all. Mm-hmm. And so that was just a good core memory for me. I remember about fifth grade, and I went to a school called Hayes Cooper, and it was one of the better schools back then. So it was a good vibe, man, and I think about that shit all the time.
Nice. All right, let's see. Okay, so this one ties back into the Mizzou camp that I did, but for a completely different reason. So I was a sophomore going into my sophomore year. So it was like the summer in between. I made friends with a guy who was going into the senior year. He was a receiver. He was, I think he was from Arkansas. In football camp, they'll give you a little free time. And my boy was like, hey, you want to go venture around? We on a college campus. Check out some of these girls. At that point in time, I didn't know shit about no women.
Hey, how old were you then? When was this?
This is going into my sophomore year. So I was like 14.
Okay.
At that point in time, it was new to me. He was the older one, so I looked up to him during those 4 days. He's getting recruited too. He's playing football shit. He knew what's up. So we were like venturing around. We were like wandering around Mizzou campus and stuff. And somehow we end up in the girls' dorm room. You have no idea how. We were running around the floors. Oh. I don't know. That whole experience was a blast. Run around the girl meeting older. I mean, these are 20-some-year-old, 18, 19, 20.
I know, yeah.
Oh, my God. So, like, the run through the women's dorm room, and, like, I think one came out the shower. Like, she was wrapped in a towel, but she, like, came out the bathroom. I was like, oh, shit. So we took off. Right? We got to get out of here. That camp was just amazing altogether. I balled out, got a little older, I guess, college experience of being in the girls' dorm.
I know what you mean.
So,
yeah, I know what you mean. That's dope.
That was fun.
So, next up for me, my third one is going to be my first pair of custom shoes that I made in high school. And I remember the guys, some guys at school. Yeah.
All right, go
ahead,
bro.
I remember some guys in my high school.
Real OG.
Oh, yeah, dude. I was doing 2002, I think. Some guys in my school, they was painting shoes first. They painted their shoes first. And I was like, yo, that's dope. I was like, I could do that too. So I went out. I used whatever I could find around the house to customize the pair of shoes. Hey. Bro, I was using a permanent marker. I used nail polish. I had used a highlighter. I used
you got creative with it.
It was like a glitter pen we had, bro. I used a bunch of shit, bro, to customize like my first pair of shoes. They looked absolutely crazy, but I was proud of them. And then eventually I graduated to using like apple barrel paints.
Oh yeah, the apple barrel paints. Forgot about those.
Yeah, all through high school. But the first pair, that's where it all started for me, was using that pair. And I always remember it was around Christmas time when I did it and wore them. And I still got the picture. That's when I finished them. And I took a picture of them, and I was holding it in my hand like this, looking down with the do-rag on. But yeah, making my first pair of customs in high school, 2002. Core memory, bro.
That's dope. I'm trying to think. What was another core memory of mine? Okay. So, 8th grade football. The start of it is not a good memory whatsoever. I think I was like 6 games in, and I broke my leg. I missed the rest of the season. I was devastated because that was my first year ever playing football. And I fell in love. I was devastated I couldn't play anymore until high school. I was sad. I was on crutches, boot on my leg, hanging out at my parents' house because I was just miserable. And I get a doorbell. It was like, ding dong. And I opened the door up. The entire cheerleading squad.
Yeah.
I was on my patio in the front. And I was like, I think I was blushing. I think I was turning red and shit. And I was like, The entire squad, because we had an 8th grade cheer team, so they were all at the game. So they brought candy and flowers and asked if I was okay. Dope, and I was like, oh my God, you guys love me? Man.
Dope,
wow.
Bro.
I was like, I felt like, I don't know, man. It was a weird feeling. I was like, wait, all these cheerleaders at my front door asking if I'm okay? I'm like, man. I felt like I got a lot of love that day. I was like, man, this is like those changing moments. I'm like, hey, this is dope.
That is dope, bro. Because I can see them doing that in high school and college, but to be in junior high or 8th grade when the cheer squad, like, they thinking about that type of stuff. That's dope, man.
Oh, I was like, man, this made me feel great. This is legit.
Dope. Shout out to those girls, man, wherever they are.
Right.
Another core memory of mine is high school when I was a part of the step team. You know,
you were a step team?
Come on, anything art, bro. Anything art related, I was doing that shit. Like acting,
your parents named you right.
Dancing, yes, acting, dancing, singing, whatever, bro. I was instrumental.
I was like, stomp the art over here.
And that's exactly how it was, bro. Like I was part of the step team in high school. I mean, I'm a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated now, but in high school, we had a Sigma Beta club, and they're like the little brothers of Phi Beta Sigma. My homeboys are Sigma, so shout out to them. Mm-hmm. And so, but at that time, bro, the step team was just, you wanted to be a part of it. I remember we was in 9th grade. We wasn't in it yet. When 10th grade come around, a lot of the guys that were in Sigma Beta had graduated. And there was only like 2 guys. His name was Cordell Lee, Jeremy Chapman, RIP to Jeremy Chapman. He passed away a few years ago in a motorcycle accident. But they was like, y'all got to join Phi Beta Sigma. Y'all got to join Sigma Beta Club, bro. We need some more steppers, everybody. And y'all the cool kids. Y'all got art. Y'all got talent. We need y'all. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, bet. At first, I wasn't going to do it because I always wanted to be a Kappa. And I was like, bro, I ain't going to join no Sigma Beta, bro. I want to be you know what I'm saying? I want to be a Kappa when I'm older. But we didn't have no Kappa leagues or anything like that. And all my homeboys was joining. And I knew if I didn't join, they was going to be doing stuff without me. So I was like, fuck it. The night of, when they went to the interest meeting, I went to, and we all got in, and we were the coldest step team around. But we were like celebrities. I ain't gonna even lie to you. We used to go to different high schools, walk in the gym. The females going, I often call them hoes, but they were some young ladies. The females was going crazy. They were like, oh, that's a step team for Sigma Beta. I was like, yeah, y'all know who he is. And bro, we stepped in.
He's like, yeah,
y'all know what it is. Back in the days, back when you used to pop and vibrating, that shit was cool back then, bro. And bro, we stepped in Florida at a Florida step show one time. I think we got second place at the time because a guy had hunched one of our dudes had hunched the floor at the end of the step show. We leaving off. We just got done. The music's still going. He got down and he hunched the floor, and they deducted points for us because he hunched the floor. After they told us, they was like, "Yo, don't do no sexual stuff like humping the floor or something." And he got points deducted for that. And we ended up getting second place in that step show. But we went to Cali.
Hilarious.
Yeah, bro. We went to Cali and step. That was my first time going to Cali. We got first place in that step show, and that was some of the best times of my high school life, going to step practice and hanging out with the fellas.
I wish it was like cool. That. Mine was all surrounded by sports.
Man, it was dope, bro. I wish they had something like that. You know, my son, I don't know if he'll do it. He ain't really into it.
Would you still do it?
Would I still step?
Yeah, they have a old man.
We don't really step like that, you know, as a Kappa. We don't really do that type of stepping. But if I was, definitely do it though. If I was in that realm of the fraternity, I would still do it, man.
Do you still meet up with your fraternity brother?
I didn't pledge in college. I pledged when I got out of college. The alumni chapter out here in Lancaster, Palmdale. So older guys and stuff like that. I ain't really get the college experience with it. But the guys that I used to step with in high school, I mean, we were all best friends, so we still all in the same chat group, and we talk damn near every day. So we still had those memories, bro. It was cool. Some videos out there somewhere. My mom recorded everything.
What's your colors again?
Crimson and cream.
That's right, because we had a chapter of Kappas in my college. They wanted me to join. Obviously, being an athlete, it's kind of like its own fraternity, so I was like, and I didn't have the money. So, but it was funny because the Kappas were all light skinned.
Yeah,
they're like, oh,
it's a little more in the South. It went like my school. It was more. I don't really know. It was a few light skinned dudes, but they loved the pretty boys. So I could see.
Yeah, that's what they were like. Oh yeah, you want to join us? And I looked at all of you like, nah, man, I'm good. Too many of you motherfuckers.
I need some variation, man.
I can't be. Fuck.
People are already looking at me now. Come on, bro.
I'm already getting called pretty all the time. That's not something I like. I don't look at myself as that. But I was like, oh, man, you too pretty. You light skinned, pretty. I'm like, shut up. Yeah. I'm like, I can't join your group because that just emphasizes what everyone else is saying. I'm like, nope, I'm good. Oh, man. Because even nowadays, I still think about, like, should I? Like, I've always wanted to kind of try to join a black fraternity, but.
You should. Join the Kappas. Come join.
Kappas? I know.
Come on the Kappa,
like
guy.
One of my friends is like my little brother. He's Alpha. So he's like, you want to join Alpha? So I'm like, I thought about that in college, too. But, hey, you said no.
Come to the Kappa.
All right, so this last one. I have two instances. One would be funny. The other one is funny as well, but it's a little more personal. You know how, like, 17. It's like, you know where I was going with that one.
I already know what you're doing.
Do I want to share that? Share that, or do I want to go? I guess I can share, but I have to be less detailed about. Damn it! What you think? It was like, damn. I was trying to say, fuck it. We'll go with the rated G version. Let's see. This is when I lived in North Carolina. It was 6th grade. 5th grade is when I started getting like little crushes on girls and stuff. 6th grade is like, well, I guess you could say like my first girlfriend, even though we never really hung outside of school.
I know, bro. That's how it was.
Oh man, so I didn't remember her name. It was Whitney Smith. That's when I found out black girls liked me. I was like, yes. That was my first ever girlfriend. We used to write each other like little notes. We never really hung out outside of school. It was like purely at school.
I mean, that's how it was, bro.
And it was only like, the relationship lasted like all of 2 months because we never did anything outside of school. It was my first ever kiss. She was getting on the bus, and she looked at me, and I was like, wait, she's expecting something. I didn't know what to do. I was like, wait. And then she got a little closer, and I was like, are we kissing? I don't know what to do. Went in there, nervous as fuck, gave her a quick peck, was like, and then out. I think I got made fun of. After that, she made fun of me.
Dang, bro.
I was like, why you gotta do me like that? I was like, this is my first ever kiss.
Up, man.
But it was funny because I was like, it's my first kiss. That was a big deal. It was funny though because I didn't know what to do, and yeah, man, that was my first little crush, and got out of there.
Yo, man, I was finna say shout out to you, man, but she clowned my boy, man.
She did, because I got made fun of by her and some other girls a couple days later.
That's messed up.
And then one of the girls who made fun, and then we broke up. Oh yeah, I guess you could say it was a breakup. And then one of the girls who was making fun of me started hitting on me or flirting with me after that. I'm like, oh, okay. I see how it's going to be. Lesson learned real quick in life.
Exactly. She was ready, waiting her turn.
Yeah, man, that shit was funny. I had to put that in because it was unforgettable and cool until a few days later when I got made fun of. But hey, it is what it is. I didn't get made fun of no more after that, though.
I'm on a mission from here on out. Everybody getting their feelings hurt.
Oh man.
Final memory for me, final childhood memory. One of these memories pop up, but I really don't remember nothing about it. To be honest with you.
How was it?
I was like, I only remember that it happened, but I don't remember details. So I don't want to go into that one because I don't remember nothing about it. What can I talk about, man? That's crazy, bro. I don't even know. This is difficult. I'm like you right now. What should I do? What should I talk about?
There's stuff to talk about. Like I have a couple honorable mentions if we're doing those, but I'm gonna have to be very bland with the details on some of them.
Let me see, man. I don't even know, bro.
You got something.
I didn't really get into a lot of fights, bro. Like nobody. It was never.
I did. I got bullied.
Well, yeah. So I never had that in a sense. Like nobody ever bullied me to the point it was like it's time to fight. The only time I can remember getting into a fight. It was after a band event in high school. And like,
you had a band, Gang Wars?
we went to this field. We had this little field event in the next town over. And it was just straight out chaos, brawls, fighting everywhere. It was like, our school versus this school. Everybody was out there fighting, punching, jumping folks. I didn't get to fighting out there though. When we went back to the band room and they was in there having the conversation, they're talking about it. One of these guys he was talking about my sister because my sister was involved in it. Like 2 of the guys were fighting because of my sister. He kept on picking at her. All I remember is I blacked out, bruh. I took off running. It was like slow motion. I had a few of those. Took off the running, bro. I jumped over some chairs and I was like, and I just fired on Cuz, bro. And before I remember it, like everybody just scooped me up. It was like, no, I let him go, bro. And it got broke up after that, bro. It was man. That's the core memory. I remember that shit, bro. And everybody had my back. Everybody was on my side. I got suspended from school for a couple of days.
That's cool.
They'll childhood memory for me.
That's good. Should I share that one or should I share the other one? All right, so I'm not gonna go in a lot of detail, but I was 17. This is like my first love. Black girl. We ran track together. That's how we bonded at first. Let's just say we were watching Love and Basketball, so that holds a special dear to my heart movie. And so we're watching Love and Basketball. And let's see if I can find it real quick. And you'll laugh at this. It should be easy to find. I almost forgot the name of the song.
I was thinking that song.
Let's just say that was the first time in this movie and this song, like, always remind.
Yeah.
But, like, why gotta be this song, though? Like, I was like, oh, shit, I probably made this noise.
Funny, man.
Man. But, yeah, anyways, that was very memorable. And that was the first love. And that song came on. I'm like, why has it got to be timed up just right? Funny shit, though. That'd be my honorable mention. I wasn't even sure if I was going to include that one, but I figured it'd be funny to throw the song in there.
Okay, so I'm going to go honorable mention. I think the only person who probably knows about this is my homeboy who was there with me, Gary. My other homeboys probably know. We probably told him afterwards, but I was at my girlfriend's house in high school. It was after school, like on a Friday. Wasn't even supposed to be there. You know what I mean? She was there by herself. We were at her house chilling. All of a sudden, the downstairs door opened up. I was like, who is this at the door? Her older sister, who's like much older than her, came home, bro, with her little baby niece who was walking around. So I had to hide in the closet. So I was trapped in the closet and shit like that. So I'm sitting in the closet hiding, bro, waiting for them to leave. The little niece came upstairs, opened the closet door, was looking at me, playing with me, but she was so little she couldn't talk, you know, but she knew who I was. She was just looking at me, playing with me. I was like, go ahead, go, no, try to get me in trouble. And I had to wait. She left me there by myself, and she left.
Damn.
And I had to wait for them to leave, and I locked the door behind me when I left out the house. So I joke about it and say I tied some sheets together and I shimmied out the window. But, yeah.
That's
really,
funny.
I got trapped in the closet one time. My homeboy was laughing. He was waiting around the corner for me. The same person. I was at her house again one time. This let me know I had no business being over there. She had this big septic tank thing in the ground, covered up by thin metal pieces. And I'm thinking I can drive over it because I'm trying to hide my vehicle. Drive back there, car straight went into the hole. And so the front part of my car,
what?
The front part of my freaking vehicle is sitting up like this in the hole. And I was like, we about to get in so much trouble.
But you drove into their septic tank?
Yes, I drove into the septic tank, bro. Stuck, back wheels just spinning.
Oh, and my God.
The next door neighbor was cool as hell, bro. He was a younger, older guy. So he probably was like mid-20s or something like that. And he had his homeboys come over, bro. And they was all on the back, like jumping on the back to try to get it. So we got that joint, got the touch ground, bro. They bagged out that thing. I was like, oh my God. I don't know how she explained the hole in the backyard, but that wasn't my problem at that point. I was like, I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here.
You put,
Oh.
I think that tops anything. Younger me, older me probably has some shit that rivals that. But
Yeah, bro. I was like, see, this is what I get. I ain't supposed to be over here no way. And 2 times, I'm trying to be over here.
oh my, that is hilarious. You drove into your.
Yes, bro.
Oh man, that's good. That is hilarious. Oh man, I'm still thinking about it.
So I'm gonna run down my top 5 childhood memories. First are the summer art camps at Delta State University, where I learned a lot of art stuff, had great times. 2 was 5th grade Christmas program that we had at my school at Hayes Cooper. 3rd will be my first pair of customs, where I used anything I could find. 4th would be all the step team memories and step shows with my homeboy. And 5th would be, wait, was 5th the one I just told?
Yeah.
Yeah. 5th would be me getting trapped in the closet in high school when I shouldn't have been somewhere I was supposed to be anyway. And honorable mention was me getting stuck in a septic tank hole when I was somewhere I shouldn't have been anyway. Top 5 childhood.
That was a good one. Your top 5. All right, so my first one is Mizzou football camp MVP. My second one is my first ever baseball home run. And then after that is the same Mizzou camp running around the girls' dorm room where I shouldn't have been, but it felt great. And then, wait. What was after that? Oh, first kiss.
Yes.
But got made fun of.
Forget you, Whitney.
And then number 5. This is no particular order, by the way, because honestly, if I was go back, this would probably be number 1. But 11, basketball. Yeah. Women's Worth, Maxwell. That's how I'm going to leave it at that. Oh, hey, man, that's good shit.
Appreciate y'all for joining us for another episode of Artists Unhinged. I'm Art from Art by Art LLC on Instagram. Check out my YouTube channel at Art by Art Creates. I look forward to my book dropping hopefully towards the end of this year. I'll holler at y'all next time.
It's your boy Jason of J Height Art. You can follow me at j.height art on IG. I also have jheightart.com, my new website. You can check out I have one video up and a couple shorts on my YouTube channel.
All right, we'll holler at y'all next time, man. It's your boys, Artists Unhinged, and we out.
We out.